All right, what's up, everyone? Trevor here, Tag Performance and Nutrition. We're back. Another episode, another video here. Just me talking, and I want to talk about, I think one of the most confusing things going on in the world of health, wellness, nutrition, and if you're not already confused enough, probably going to confuse you a little bit more. But I also want to give you some simple things you can do to just avoid all that confusion, avoid all the craziness, all the information that's out there, because we're so inundated with information. There's too much information out there, and we don't think for ourselves anymore. But we're going to talk about nutrition labeling and how they are super inaccurate. They don't have to be accurate. So you can just type into Google, what did I type in? I typed in accuracy or nutrition labels can be incorrect. That's what I typed in, and it spat out like the AI, but I've done this before, but the FDA allows up to 20% discrepancy, more or less, kind of error on their nutrition labels. Which, if you think about it, that is probably something that is wrong with our food industry as a whole. That they can be purposefully incorrect on their labeling, and yes, that's not saying that there might be a little bit more or less than exact weight or whatever. So do we ever really know the exact amount of protein or carbs or fats in our food? Probably not. But to say that they can legitimately, without any punishment, be incorrect is pretty absurd, I think. And that's one big issue with our food and nutrition industry. Big food, if you want to call it that. As they're allowed to be incorrect or not, or mislead you, and that's just like the nutrition label. So I got a couple things here. That's just what I'm talking about, the label there. I don't know if you could see that on that. That's just a label. That's not like the marketing of the different terms they use: fat-free, low fat, keto, natural, organic. All these other labels that they use to market, which is also misleading. And it's caused confusion in myself, not knowing, is this good for me? Is this not good for me? Whatever it may be. But all these big food companies are just out there to mislead you and try and get you to buy their product. That's really what it's all about. When they're giving you incorrect information or just trying to hit on some key pain point to get you to buy this brand of protein bagels or protein cereal because it's got more protein. No, it's a bunch of junk for the most part anyway. It's just their marketing terms trying to get you to buy their crap. Whereas, honestly, to be the super simple thing to do instead of worrying so much about labels and things like that is just focus on minimally processed, whole, nutrient-dense, real foods. Foods that come from earth, foods that come from animals. I say that over and over and over again. But that's really what you have to do. Even labels like that can be incorrect. And it falls back into calories. If you like to count calories, that's great. And count calories, cutting macros, that's fine. I do it. I like to do it just because it keeps me on track. But you don't have to do it. You can eat just real foods. Your fruits, your vegetables, your meats, your plants, your eggs. Those things. Those good quality real foods. But it's the nutrition labeling that just can cause so much extra confusion that we don't need, and then you're worrying about it, you're stressing over all this minuscule stuff, when in reality, if you just focus on the real foods, you're going to be fine. But I want to talk a little bit about like the nutrition labels and show you examples of how even like quality foods. So I try not to buy a lot of label stuff. You buy some apples or some oranges or meat. Yes, some of the stuff has nutrition labels on it, but the main ingredients are the food. And even ingredient lists, you can look at all these crazy words. You see the people, if you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. But some of the stuff you can't pronounce, you might not know what it is, but some of it's good. So you can just Google it and search and see what this word is. Like, I got my Good Culture cottage cheese plug. Maybe they'll send me some free stuff. My favorite cottage cheese. But on here it says, so let's go over the ingredients first. Skim milk, whole milk, cream, sea salt, live and active cultures. I don't even know how to pronounce the cultures. Lactococcus SSP, Lactobacillus SSP. So I can't really pronounce them, but I know they are probiotics, and I could look that up and search it up. So you have Google, you have the power of the phone. I mean, you see all these people whining about stuff. Yes, most of the stuff is crap in the food that they put all this extra stuff in, but again, we know better. We just try to make it more confusing and stress over stupid stuff like that. But again, allow the labeling. I mean, this stuff, low fat. That's because it is low fat. It's fat. It's 2 grams of fat per serving. So that's, I mean, fairly low. And again, that is low fat, low carb, high protein. That's all relative to the situation. What's low carb for me might be high carb for you. Like, I consider low carb like 200 grams. Like, I eat a lot of carbs because I need to perform. I want to perform. So again, each situation, each person is different. But if we're looking at labels and how incorrect they can be, just to confuse you more, we're going to look at some different the labels here of the calories and macros in it. I'm not good at finding where the camera is, but so we see here we got 2 grams of fat, 4 grams of carbs, and 14 grams of protein in this. So we're gonna calculate that out and see. So think about it: 1 gram, and figure out the calories. So 1 gram of fat is approximately 9 calories. So we're gonna take 2 times 9, which gives us 18 grams of fat. That's our calories from fat, 18 grams. And this says the total calories is 90 in a half a cup. So we're gonna see how accurate these are. So 18 carbs. 4 times, so 1 gram of carbs is 4 calories approximately. So 4 times 4 is 16. 16 plus 18 is 34. And then protein, we got 14. So again, 1 gram of protein is 4 as well. 4 calories. That's 4. So 56 plus 16 plus 18. Actually, that one's accurate. So good for you, good culture. You are accurate with your calorie totals. So there you go. One that's accurate. I wasn't expecting it to be perfectly accurate, but again, a good quality company like Good Culture, which makes the best cottage cheese. Send me some, please. Free plug, even though no one sees my videos, but send me some Good Culture. But shout out to you for being accurate on your label. I got another one here, but yeah, so we got the carbs, fat, carbs, and protein. So just if you are tracking, this is just something to be aware of. You don't have to be obsessed over it. Again, and then we can drive ourselves up a wall in crazy if we're just worrying about all these calories. Again, use it as something to track. It's never going to be 100% accurate anyway. But just want to show you how off some of these can be. So we got another example here. I got dates. Another one of my favorites. Let's look at this. Literally, ingredients are pitted dates. Sometimes they're not pitted, which sucks. You bite into one and it's still got the pit in it, and then goes your tooth, or you're blending them up, trying to make my Samoa Girl Scout cookies that I make, and you hear it rattling around in the blender, and you gotta find it, and then you get half of it, and the other half's in there, and you bite it and almost break a tooth. But that's another issue. So the ingredients, this is just dates in here. So we got the calories. It says 120 fat, 0 grams, carbs 31 grams, and protein 1. But in here we got fiber. So a lot of times you'll see something net carbs. Ooh, net carbs, magic. I say stop worrying about net carbs if you're counting calories. Just count them in your carbs, because net carbs are basically just taking the fiber away, subtracting the fiber and subtracting any sugar alcohols. This doesn't have any sugar alcohols. I mean, that's the whatever the erythritol or allulose or all that. It's made up kind of synthetic stuff anyway. So if you're eating a lot of that, maybe that's probably part of the reason your gut's having issues. If you're eating a lot of that stuff anyways, it's just like all the other fake foods you're eating. Again, can you eat them? Yeah, you can eat whatever you want. This is just kind of to inform you and kind of show you how labels can be incorrect. But that you usually just subtract the fiber from the carbs. So let's kind of do this one. So fat 0, so we don't need to worry about any number there. So carbs, we're going to do 31 times 4, 124. Protein 1 times 4 is 4. So 124 plus 4 is 128. So, and it says there's 120 calories in here. So even this is 8 grams off. Again, if we take the fiber, so we're going to take, even if we do the net carbs, which don't worry about it, it's stupid. 31 minus 3, so 28 times 4 is 112, plus 4 is 116. So then they're even lower. So if you count the net calories, so you can see it's off. It's not exactly right. So they can be way off. Now I'm going to look up another food. So I got an Oreo label up here on my computer. So I'm not going to show it. I'd have to share my screen or whatnot. But if you can go look up Oreos if you want. So serving size, 2 cookies. Calories, 140. Fat, 7 grams. Carbs, 21 grams. And less than 1 gram of protein. So we're going to see if this is accurate for our calories. So our total calories is 140. So we're going to go fat 7 times 9, 63, 21 times 4, 84 plus 63. We're already we're at 147. So they are off. If we times the protein, it says less than 1, so you don't know how much is whatever. So we'll say 4 plus 4 more. So I'll say 150, 151, somewhere in there. So they're off by 10 calories. So again, if you're doing this over and over again with all your foods and you're counting calories and you're just tracking them with MyFitnessPal or Chronometer or whatever you're using to track, and you're wondering, oh, I'm eating my 100 calories, but then you realize that you're still gaining weight. Could it be that you're not eating the right amounts? Yes. Could it be that the tracking is just off because you're eating so many packaged processed food? Yes. There's so many different things that can play a role in it. But this is kind of just to show you that they can be inaccurate. They're not allowed, or they're not held to a standard of being accurate and providing you the information needed. So just to show you that all this health and wellness, the big food is not out there to really help you. FDA, they allow 20% inaccuracy either or. So that's just showing you how crazy and confusing this stuff can be. And just to simplify it for you, focus on the quality of your food. Focus on eating whole nutrient-dense real foods, foods from earth, foods from animals. Focus on eating until you're satisfied, not until you're full. If you want to track, tracking is fine. It's a great tool. But again, it is just a tool to use to help you get to where you want to be. And you don't have to worry about things like net carbs and all this fancy lingo. A lot of it's just marketing. Let's see if you got on, like I said, Good Culture is low fat, but that's like actually just based on, low fat doesn't mean healthy. Low fat just means it's low fat, as compared to, I guess, what. So you could think about it that way. But a lot of things you'll see like gluten free. That just means it doesn't have gluten. Does gluten free mean healthy? No. Does organic mean healthy? No. Does it's even organic? There's like 2 different ways. Something I don't even haven't dove into that too much. But again, all these things are just, most of it is just marketing terms to get you to buy their product, to make something sound healthy. It's all these consumer product goods, big food companies, and then you got all the influencers out there marketing all this crap, even though most of it is just crap to get you to buy. And then you wonder why you feel like crap, you're out of shape, you're overweight, you're lazy. It's because you're not focusing on the big picture things, the big rocks, your training, your sleep, eating whole nutrient-dense real foods, managing your stress, the stuff. And if you keep it simple and you don't stress, I used to stress so much about tracking everything to the minor detail, worrying about every carb, every calorie. Do I track still? Yes. But is it going to ruin my day if I miss something? No. You learn, because that's basically a food, what's the word? Like a diet, what's it like what is the word I'm looking for? Diet, not like a diet problem, like bulimia or anorexia or those things. What are those called? Um, I can't think of what they're called, but you know what I'm getting at. It's an issue. It's uh, causing you issues. It's okay. Now it's gonna draw me a blank. What am I? What is it? God dang. Let me think of it. Eating disorders. Why couldn't I think of that? It's an eating disorder where you just stress and then you're causing yourself, you're becoming so neurotic about all these fine little details that you are afraid to eat anything. You're afraid to eat even good food because, oh, the label's off. But again, hopefully this doesn't set you that way, but it's just showing you that big food, big pharma, all this stuff is the FDA. They're not really out there for your well being. If they were, we'd be promoting eating real food rather than all the crap out there and all the pharmaceuticals and all the drug companies. Everything is Ozempic and all that stuff. Not to say you can't do that stuff, but you also need to eat real food. You also need to sleep. You also need to train hard and manage your stress. Because if you just do all this medications and crap, you're probably not the healthiest. I work with people who are just stuck on millions and millions of medications. Not millions, but you know what I mean. They go to the doctor and every issue. Oh, here's another medication. Here's another medication. What if we just live our lives, eat food, enjoy it, sleep, train hard, live a fulfilling life? You're gonna be much better off than just plugging yourself full of all these drugs and medications. That's my opinion anyway. I know because I've taken all medications and been prescribed medications for low testosterone and stuff and got off of them and feel 100 times better and stuff like that. Even like when I break bones or have injuries, they give you pain pills and you just feel like crap and you're just groggy. And I remember like not even taking the pain pills for like when I broke my face or wrist just because all I wanted to do was sleep and I don't want to be tired all the time. And that was years ago. But again, the body's adaptable. Your body is crazy adaptable and it's a powerful tool. If you just let it do what it needs to do, it's going to do what it needs to do for the most part. Inflammation, all that stuff is, and now we're getting way off topic, but swelling, all that stuff, that's part of the healing process. So just let your body do what it needs to do. You don't need to plug it full of all this other crap. Fuel it with good food, fuel it with good training, fuel it with good sleep, and re-energize it with good sleep, and you're going to be better off than 95% of the people out there. But again, nothing to scare you or hopefully not confuse you anymore, but just be aware that these companies are allowed to be inaccurate on their labels, and most of the terms and terminology out there is just to get you to buy their crap. But if you're counting calories, just be aware of it. Don't stress over it too much. Which I was surprised. I was planning for this to be off, but that one was accurate. The dates were a little off. The Oreos were 10 grams off, 10 calories off. So you can see where this can get confusing, and hopefully this helps you out a little bit. But again, just focus on the simple stuff. If you are tracking calories, track it, but don't obsess over it. Focus on the whole nutrient-dense real foods first. Focus on sleep. Focus on training hard. And you're going to be great. So that's what I have for today, guys. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. What are your experiences with tracking? How have you noticed did you know before that they can be that off? So if not, hopefully that helps. Hopefully it gives you some awareness. But again, keep it simple. Make it work. Focus on the big rocks, and you'll be better than most. So be athletic for life, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks, guys.